Alright, so I chose the BT spec sheet by the NPIC, the National Pesticide Information Center. It's a cooperative between the EPA and the Oregon State University, so it's a somewhat unbiased kind of PSA, more information thing. And what the information sheet is, it's supposed to be kind of a general BT information sheet for the public. It ultimately explains that BT is a bacteria found in nature, and it creates a very specific toxic that kills, again, a very specific insect. The way it kills this is by disrupting the the digestion system of the actual insect. It does not have any effects on humans' digestive system because it's the insects have a basic digestive system and we as humans have an acidic one. So the enzyme that it creates just won't work on us. This really relates to the case study by One Singh, where it's the case study. It's called A Hard Look at BT and Other GM Crops. This gives a real-world application of BT crops and goes to prove that this pest resistance can be increased, and this will ultimately help increase yields with little to no health issues.
My paper is on transgenics, a new breed from Nature International Weekly Journal. It talks about genetically modified foods can help poor and developing countries get nutrients they lack from modified traditional food staples, such as golden rice, with an addition of beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, which is deficient in East Asian diets. This is made possible with new technology such as Challenge, which controls how chromosomal breaks are repaired and introduces mutations at specific and optimal sites. The exactness of these procedures means that there's less disruption in the random site take-up of gold nanopellets from gene guns. The paper I found most synergistic with mine was Justin Sayers from goldenrice.org, biased towards the advancement of golden rice, which also talks about golden rice with its genetically modified yellow color, indicative of beta-carotene, vitamin A. However, the scientific research system in place is so elaborate and demanding, it sides with large corporations connected to high-value crops that have the funding to proceed through all regulatory checkpoints. This process is an issue with humanitarian projects whose aim is to help nutritional deficient areas, as neither side has the funding to proceed right now.
So, the paper I chose was How to Make a Transgenic Plant, published by Colorado State University. My main takeaway from this paper was that the process of transformation used to make genetically engineered crops utilized genes and vectors found from organisms often found in the agro-ecosystem, especially from soil bacteria such as agrobacteria and tumefactions. Another member in our group discussed an article titled How BT Corn and Roundup Ready Soy Work, and Why They Should Not Scare You, which I found to be synergistic with my paper because the author tries to argue for GMOs by stating that the chemicals produced by the introduction of the BT gene are safe and naturally come from bacteria already present in the environment. My paper expands upon this argument by considering exactly how this transformation takes place and how the process usually involves bacteria and genes found in the environment.
Okay, the paper I'm talking about is a case study, Hard Look at GM Crops. The essay is talking about the GM crops, it breaks the environment. And the beginning is talking about the super weed, which one is can control with the herbicide, but actually farmer use more herbicide after they use the crop, the super weed. It really broke the environment. Actually, in the later of the essay, it's talking about the GM crops get into the Mexico, the wild seed, and it's very unknown for right now, but it also breaks the environment. The most thing is talking about in this essay is about the BT cottons, and Jack was talking about the how BT works in the before, and my essay is keep talking about the people think BT crops and have some cause suicide in India, but it's false. BT crops help the yield and help the people to get more money for the input, but people do not want to use those because they think the BT crop is unknown and this kind of things. Because India is a developing countries, so probably in the future they will go to use more things about GM crops.
The article I chose was Golden Rice Regulatory Issues, and golden rice introduces the color yellow, indicative of beta-carotene, vitamin A. The genetic modification safety assessment, which approves crops, is so elaborate that it favors large companies, aka those with money. And currently humanitarian projects whose aim is to help nutritionally deficient areas simply don't have the backing and funding to fulfill this crop assessment. So this article coincides with Transgenetics, a new breed, which targets how genetic modification has been profit-driven. Instead, this drive should shift toward encompassing ethics. In this case, that means the golden rice should be seen as benefiting consumers and not just companies.